This is your morning Buzzcast for Tuesday, May 27th. Good morning. I'm Abe Madcore. Hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend or a great one. Some big news impacting the A's baseball team, as SBJ's Brett McCormick is reporting that Aramark Sports and Entertainment has been selected as the food and beverage service provider for the proposed new A's ballpark in Las Vegas. But this is what's interesting. The deal includes Aramark making an equity investment in the team of at least $100 million. So as part of a 20-year deal, Aramark will outlay at least $175 million, equity in the team of at least $100 million, and a CapEx investment commitment for F&B services of at least $75 million. Now, it could not be determined what percentage of the team Aramark now owns or what the A's overall valuation is currently, but a total investment of $175 million would almost certainly be the biggest financial investment in a team and its stadium by a concessionaire in sports business history. Now, the deal hasn't been finalized yet, and 5 of the biggest F&B companies, Delaware North, Legends, Levy, Sodexo Live, Aramark, all competed for this business. And Aramark's equity investment will undoubtedly be used towards financing the A's new $1.75 billion ballpark that is supposed to open ahead of the 28 MLB season. Remember, that is just off the Las Vegas Strip. A's owner John Fisher is looking to raise revenue to close a ballpark funding gap of at least $500 million. So Aramark's investment will certainly help that. More to come on this, but this is a significant deal for the future of the A's and a big move by Aramark. Let's move on. What a weekend in the city of Indianapolis. You had Liberty Fever on Saturday night. You had the Indy 500 Sunday afternoon. Knicks Pacers on Sunday night. That's a big weekend. Now, the Indy 500 sold out its grandstands for the first time in nearly a decade, and that meant the local TV blackout that's been in place since the 1950s was lifted, so fans across Indiana could watch the race. On Sunday, there was an announced crowd of more than 325,000 fans. Remember, there's about 230,000 grandstand seats. The rest are general admission. What a big, big turnout for the Indy 500, and it was a big day for Fox. I thought the broadcast was solid. It did receive its fair share of criticism online, but boy, we've seen the promotion that Fox has put behind the Indy 500 even before the Super Bowl, and it seemed the promotion worked, as Fox averaged just over 7 million viewers for Sunday's race. It's the most watched Indy 500 in 17 years, and it's up 40% from last year's Indy 500. Fox Sports also sold out all of its advertising inventory. The network exceeded its revenue target for this first year of being with IndyCar and the 500. There is no doubt the enthusiasm for IndyCar and the Indy 500 from Fox Sports CEO Eric Shanks, who's an Indiana native and has been passionate about the 500 and IndyCar from day one, that resonated with the marketplace. And even though it was not the easiest week to be in Indianapolis for the 500, because remember, you had 2 of Roger Penske's 3 cars penalized heavily, and the leader of IndyCar, Roger Penske, was in the news for all the wrong reasons. He met with all other team owners. He apologized publicly for all the negative headlines that his teams have caused Indy last week. He also dismissed 3 key staff members, including longtime right-hand executive Tim Cindric, who we've talked about on the Buzzcast. The move away from Tim Cindric is notable. He is a member of Team Penske's Hall of Fame. He's been with the organization since 2000 as president of Penske Racing. So Roger Penske moves on from 3 executives, including Tim Cindric, but with all the cloud hanging over Team Penske, the Indy 500 still delivered big time for Fox. It was the end of an era on ESPN on Friday, as after nearly 5,000 episodes, Around the Horn signed off on ESPN for the final time. Tony Reali, the host, said he was 24 when he started on the show. He claims the show helped him grow up. On Friday, you had Bill Plaschke and Woody Page, J.A. Adandi and Bob Ryan, all for the first panel. They talked about the greatest athletes during the show's history. The final verdict came down to 3 votes for LeBron James, 1 for Tiger Woods. They were followed by such mainstays Tim Kalishaw, Kevin Blackstone, Frank Isola, and Jackie McMullen. So Reali ended the show by asking viewers to connect with him through other platforms like YouTube. So whether you were a fan of Around the Horn or not, it certainly had a great run and exposed national sports writers and journalists to many fans who had never read their work. It certainly leaves a legacy. Let's shift to college sports. So many storylines and eyes on the University of North Carolina's football program and coach Bill Belichick, and not all of them for the reasons that Carolina probably wanted. But we do know that the school is seeing business results, strong ticket sales. It sold out 20,000 season tickets, a feat it didn't even accomplish last year. This came after UNC raised season ticket prices by an average of 25%. So as of now, North Carolina is up about 35% in overall ticket sales year over year. They anticipate being up well over 50% once the season starts, and premium areas are being sold at their highest levels ever. There'll be more primetime games. The value of UNC exposure and sponsorship surely is increasing. And now they are looking to sell naming rights for Kenan Stadium. They are working with Independent Sports and Entertainment, who is out in the market looking at the marketplace for these naming rights, as the school really seeks to take advantage of this increased visibility. Also, the school is looking at all sorts of revenue options, more signage, selling field logos, selling tunnel covers, and even selling sponsorship to the new team benches. Those all could be monetized. That's what University of North Carolina is looking to do. Meanwhile, I'm also watching the future of Bubba Cunningham as the athletic director at UNC. I'm a big fan of his, have been for years. Now, he has been rumored as a candidate for the open athletic director post at Michigan State. So why the connection? Well, he's a native of Flint, Michigan, and graduate of Notre Dame. Cunningham has been AD at North Carolina since late 2011, and he has worked alongside the new Michigan State president who came from Chapel Hill. And it has not been an easy time for Bubba Cunningham. The hiring of Bill Belichick was complicated and done by many at the board level, and Cunningham wasn't always consulted or advised on the latest move. Now, he does have a clause in his contract that allows him to give notice in writing within 120 days that will allow him to leave North Carolina. I'm not saying he will, but there's a lot of speculation about if Bubba Cunningham is looking for his latest professional challenge. Staying with North Carolina, its women's lacrosse team captured its 4th national championship over the weekend at Gillette Stadium. The tournament finale drew more than 14,000 fans. That set an all-time record for the national championship for women's lacrosse. On the men's side, there are some happy Cornell alum in sports business like Jimmy Pitaro, Gary Bettman, Rob Manfred, Cornell lacrosse player Mike Levine from CAA. He's surely happy today. Cornell won the Division I championship game Monday afternoon in front of nearly 33,000 fans at Gillette Stadium. That is the program's 4th national lacrosse title, but its first since 1977. And we'll end by staying with college sports. One of the more high-profile athletic director jobs recently filled, the University of Maryland, and new athletic director Jim Smith was introduced to the fan base, and he said his focus is on fan engagement, the in-venue experience, and revenue growth. He said time and again, the department will focus on revenue. Maryland's revenue was the second lowest in the Big Ten in 2024. Remember, Jim Smith came from the Atlanta Braves. He is in the mold of these new athletic director leaders where generating revenue remains the priority, as this college landscape is much, much more like a professional environment, hence the focus on revenue generation. And so that is your morning Buzzcast for Tuesday, May 27th. I'm Abe Madcore. Thanks for listening to the Buzzcast. Stay healthy, be good to each other. I'll speak to you on Wednesday.